Turn the bloody thing, lad. So, folks, yeah, it's been a really weird November. I don't know how you feel. I've had a lot of people tell me the same thing. Not a usual November. I know that things don't really get rolling until what they call Black Friday, which is next Friday. But however, I've never seen anything quite this bad on various fronts. Firstly, for local sales, I think I counted 26 people contacting me interested in instruments the whole of last week. That's 26 inquiries I fielded. I always send back a very courteous reply and to say, hey, it's still available. When would you like to check it out? This is where I am. I'm free most of the time, or a good amount of the time. And out of those 24 people, for some reason or other, whether it be Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, I would say about 14 just never responded again. We've talked about this before. I don't know why they inquired about something and then just never bothered to respond again. And a lot of times you can see on Facebook they got the message. There's that little check or tick, and you can see they got the message. They're just not getting back to you. And then I had out of, I think, the other 12, I was going back and forward trying to set up an appointment. I don't know why it's so hard, but some of these people I'm going back and forth 6, 7, 8, 9 emails or messages, and they just won't commit to a time. These are local folks. Won't commit to a time. And I went back and forth and finally gave up on about 5 or 6 of them. They just wouldn't commit to a time. There's always an excuse. I could see it wasn't going anywhere, so I just cut my losses. And then out of the 4 or so that I managed to make an appointment with, I had 2 no-shows, people that just didn't show up at the given time, and 2 last-minute cancellations where they actually told me at the last minute that they weren't coming. So out of 24 potential customers, I had a return of 0 business, nothing for local sales. And, occasionally you go through these lulls, and I understand that, but I've never seen anything quite this bad in terms of lack of response, lack of courtesy, lack of empathy from people about letting you know or keeping you informed. It's very easy to send a 2-second text saying, hey, I'm not going to make it, or sorry, I'm no longer interested. But for some reason, people don't see fit to do that. Maybe it's the anonymity of the internet. But at the same time, on eBay, I sold a classical guitar. Nothing wrong with it. Great guitar. Great value too. Cedar and rosewood. The guitar gets there. And first of all, the guy got a $30, $40 discount. He pleaded with me for a cheaper price, and I let it go. So I wasn't making much on the deal because I sold it rather too cheaply. He gets the guitar, and then he tells me that the guitar is cracked. So I have to take it back. I have to take a return on it. Didn't want to keep it. Didn't want a partial discount. Fair enough. That's the nature of selling online. If something's damaged or not as listed, then you have to be responsible. And I always am when it does happen, which is not very often lately. So I took it back, and of course when it comes to me, no crack. UV lights, no crack. Can't find a crack anywhere on the thing. So this is somebody who bought something, and I can't see them not liking it for that price. Maybe they had buyer's remorse. Maybe they needed the money for Christmas presents or something, and they decided they wanted to return it and get their money back. And eBay lets people do that. They let people force returns. It doesn't matter what your return policy is. eBay will back a buyer to force a return on you for any reason. You can put whatever you want on your ads. You can click whatever return policy you have on your listings. Doesn't matter. If somebody wants to push the issue, they can return an issue. So, that happened. And then I had a sale on Reverb by somebody actually says they watch these videos. So not a complaint, just a slight annoyance. Order an instrument from me. Again, plead with me to sell it for less, citing financial hardship, which then I decide to do because I'm a nice person, basically. And so I decided to do it. Again, this is too close to my cost. I really shouldn't have said yes, but seemed like a cool person, so I decided to make it happen for him. 2 days I wait for payment. I had the instrument ready to go. Nice guitar, one of the Tombstone made by ESP guitars, solid top, great electronics. And 2 days I wait, so finally I contacted him and say, hey, this is ready to go. Are you going to pay for this so I can ship it out? And according to them, they went to pay for it. They said they got the money to pay for it, and they went to pay for it, but Reverb added state tax or tax to the sale, and which was a few dollars, and they couldn't or didn't want to pay it, so therefore they were canceling the order. Which is just kind of maddening, really, because I think people who frequent Reverb and eBay and even Amazon now should know that all of these companies are adding tax. It's changed. It's been like that for a while now. It's not something that just happened. But it's really irksome to have somebody buy something, take it out of your inventory so no one else can buy it, string you along for a few days, and then cancel a purchase for a reason like that. I wouldn't do that to someone. I wouldn't do the other thing that somebody did, telling me something was damaged when it isn't. In fact, I've never returned anything for buyer's remorse. You know, if I buy something, I'm committed to it. The only reason it's ever going to go back, or I'm ever going to not pay for it or want my money back, is if there's something wrong with it, where they misrepresented it. So I went through a week where local sales were absolutely frustrating to the core for reasons I cited, and the only action I got on online through Reverb and eBay turned into a complete waste of time and energy, and sort of a cruel. It's cruel when you think you have something sold and you set it up and you get ready to send it out, and somebody reneges on it like that. And the thing about eBay that really annoys me, because I sell my instruments with shipping included in the cost, so it's free shipping, buy it now. When they force a return on me like that, not only have I paid for shipping out of the proceeds to get the thing there, when they force a return, I have to send a return label at my cost. So basically, I eat the shipping both ways. So now I can resell that guitar at the same price and I'm going to lose money because I had to pay shipping both ways. And this is for something that wasn't my fault. I represented the guitar perfectly well. I delivered what was advertised, and it was forced back on me. And this is the problem. It hasn't happened for over a year because my setups are so good, stuff doesn't tend to come back. But this is the problem with eBay. eBay doesn't care enough about its sellers. And buyers can buy something, joyride it, force it back on the seller, often send something back in a worse condition. Sure, you can try to fight it, and I have in the past. Complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. They always side with the buyer because they want that buyer to come back and buy more. They don't really care if the seller gets upset and leaves. They've got more sellers. They've got an army of Asian-based sellers. They don't even really need the small sellers selling stuff from the thrift store anymore. So they don't really care. And this is the downside of selling online, is that as a seller, you have to sort of factor in all these losses to your costs. But then, of course, your buyers want to beat you down on the prices. So you get people lowballing and taking advantage of you once they get the instrument. And it makes it not fun. So yeah, I said something to the effect on my Facebook page, about it being a crazy week and one of the worst small business weeks that I can remember. And I got 2 messages back telling me that it's because Mercury is in retrograde and that people are freaked out and that there's some sort of astrological reason why these things are happening and it will settle down soon. So, I mean, I don't want to be cynical or anything like that. The alignment of the planets shouldn't really affect people's basic levels of courtesy and empathy, in my opinion. If I renege on something, or I'm not going to show up, or I'm not going to follow through on something I said I would do, which I don't believe I do that, but if I had to do that, I would contact the person involved and let them know. I would apologize for not seeing my commitment through. That's the least I could do. So I don't really understand it. Never understood why there are so many people, why a growing number of people, a large percent of people that conduct their businesses through local selling tools like Craigslist or online from places like eBay or Reverb or Amazon. I have a hard time understanding why there is such a growing number of people that have no gumption about flaking out on someone and not letting them know. It's something that I never quite get used to, but I have to live with it. So I make videos about it, and I want to hear from you about your experience. And I know I'm getting some weird sunlight coming in over here and I look strange on this video, but maybe it's in keeping with what I'm telling you. I've got the light side and the dark side, which of course is a part of this business. See you in the next one.